Here is the Reverend Professor Stephen of O.Ketaro's library and research room, where he is conducting his typological research concerning the cultural, ecology, and anthropology on the Black African people's communication development. And while at this library and research room, we will represent to you an article relevant to the pre-stated research work. Hence, at this article, we'll be talking on the discovery and the development of the black man of the African continent from sign language to sign and stone carving language. This means that in this article, we will also be able to see how the ancient black people were able to develop communication industry from communicating using the gesture of their bodies to the point of making contact through symbols and inscriptions carved into stones, as you can see here. When we read in the scriptures of the Bible, we see that immediately after the flood of Noah's period, the flood which is said to have occurred in the year 2348 BC, we see that under the reign of Nimrod the Cushite, it was the black generation of the African continent that ruled and leading human development in the world, development in infrastructure and language construction, as you can witness here. However, today it has been opposite, that the black man of the African continent today is considered to be a man of the so-called black continent with no historical contribution to the knowledge and innovation of human development in the current world. Thus, in demonstrating the fact that from the time a black person entered in the African continent for the second time in the year 2247 BC, that these black people already had communication skills using their body parts, where they were finally able to reach the point of preserving relevant communication in animal skin materials, tree barks, and pieces of stones in order to facilitate their communication, as you can see here. So they start to communicate through their body gestures, as you can see here. The skills and knowledge that they later develop it to the point of putting these skills on the stone fragments, as we will see later on. So this is where and how this black African from the African continent started their communication since when they were in the Middle East from Babel. So they developed this communication to the point of reaching, preserving them on the stones, as you can see. And today we have now reached the point of computerizing such kind of communication which the modern world is using today. However, after the invaders invaded the African continent at different times, the invaders ensured that every black art and knowledge of the black man was taken and owned by the invaders, while the black man was made inferior and without any protection of any heritage. For if by the year 2247 BC, the whole world had been ruled by the black man, and then of course that man was so powerful that it wasn't easy for him later to lose control of every heritage of his generation. Therefore, in this topic, we are going to witness some of the ancient communication skills of black people on the African continent, that the art of writing and communication skills that are still found within the African continent. Within our continent, we are going to look at the total of 37 ancient body signs. 37 body signs, as you can see them here. We will go through them one after another, till we will understand all these 37 communication, what they mean. We will be defining every sign here so that you can well understand the meaning of all those signs, as we will be showing from one sign to another one. But also, later we will be able to see how the researchers of this field of cultural ecology, typology, and anthropology of the black people of the African continent have been able to try to determine whether the relevant symbols and texts overlap with the structure of the current Latin alphabet. In comparing the symbols with the relevant text to determine if they correspond to the structure of the Latin alphabet, we have been able to see the similarities, but with some differences, where in this text, one symbol or letter may represent the meaning of the whole word, and also the combination of several letters to represent the meaning of one word. This knowledge may have been foreign to many scholars, as many scholars have overlooked their native language without realizing that much linguistic and literary knowledge and discoveries have been hidden in various indigenous languages. Languages that currently ignored and discarded by many African continent nations. Later, the black man of the African continent was able to acquire the knowledge and skills to place this literary and art in body, art written in stone fragments, as we can witness the writing in these stones here. With the research, researchers of this cultural ecology, typology, and anthropology of the black people of the African continent, when we try to put the relevant symbols or letters in the structure of the Latin alphabet, we discovered that the letters produce other words with internal meaning, because in the origin of the concerned letters, one letter contains the meaning of one whole word. The form which is different from the alphabet letters, where in the Latin form the whole word is made up of a number of letters. In the picture shown in section 1 here, this is a diagram showing the communication through the human body sign language, where both hands, as you can see, these hands, okay, both hands are raised up with one hand cross against the other hand, while the palms here of these concerned hands are facing upwards, with both fingers pointed upwards to indicate a word meaning reject. Therefore, in preserving this body sign in a tool, the relevant sign was carved on stone fragments like this you can see here. They are preserved here well, so that they can dwell for many, many years and many decades and even centuries, because they have been preserved in a very tough tool. Now, if we want to put this symbol, in the Latin alphabet by taking the first letter of the relevant word, then this symbol will be letter A or letter T in the Bantu dialect of Kuria or Simbiti language. And in Swahili language, this sign will be letter K or letter S. And in English language, this sign will be letter R. In the picture shown in section 2 here, it is a diagram. This is a diagram showing the communication through the human body sign language, where both hands are stretched. You see, these hands are stretched downwards with the palms of both hands folded. They are folded to form a cycle to indicate a word meaning keep. This means keep. Therefore, in preserving this body sign in a tool, the relevant sign was carved on stone fragment like this you can see here. This sign here is the one you see here. This is how it was preserved. And here, it was preserved like this, you can see here. It's quite different. This shape here is quite different from this shape here. This is very narrow, but this is very somehow is large. And it is large because of the tool that was used in the carving work. As you see here, this tool here is large, so it makes large shape. But here, the tool that was used in carving this other letter here was very narrow. As you see, this small tool here is a very, very tough stone that can be used to draw on any other stone that is not so tough like this one, this drawing instrument. So that's why you see here, this shape looks very narrow, but here the shape looks large because of the drawing tools that were involved in the work. And I think I forgot to show you the drawing of the section 1 here. This sign, it is here drawn like this here on the stone. It is carved in this way. You can see it here. This is this letter here, which is originating from this body sign language here. So this body sign language is the one which factorized this carved letter here, or carved symbol here. So from body sign language to a letter carved on stone fragment. And also you can see it here. Here it looks. And also you can see it here on this other stone. It was somewhere here. Okay. Now, we can see another thing. Now, if we wanted to put this symbol, this one here, if we wanted to put this symbol in the Latin alphabet, this one, we want now to put it in the Latin alphabet, what should we do? This means what is happening by the relevant sign it means this sign would be letter A or letter T in the Bantu dialect of Kuria or Simbiti language. And in Swahili language, it will be letter K or letter S. And in English language, it will be letter R. Letter R. In the diagram shown in section 3 here, it is a diagram showing communication through the sign language of the human body, where both hands are stretched upwards and the palms of the hands are bent to the left and right sides to form a sign that signifies the word meaning of man. Therefore, in preserving this body sign in a tool, the relevant sign was carved. The relevant sign was carved on a stone. Here, it was previously carved like this. You see how it looks. It has some dots on its both right and left sides. But here it hasn't dots. But it means the same. It gives the same meaning. And also here it looks like this, but it is the same. It is the same letter. Here it looks like this, and here it also looks like this, like a drawing that is used to identify bridges, or that is used to give mark where there is a bridge or crossing the bridge. The current engineers has just improved them by adding here a little, and then it is being used by most engineers who are dealing with construction, especially road construction, bridges. So here first, this is how it appeared. It can't show here the dots because the hands are used, so there's no dot you can put here when the hands are raised up like this. So here physically, by using the body gestures, there's no dots. It was like this. But when it was transformed or put on body stone fragments, it looked like this. Now, if we want to put this symbol in the Latin alphabet by taking the first letter of the relevant word, then this symbol will be letter M. This one here will be letter M. Okay? Will be letter M in what language? Will be letter M or letter C in the Bantu dialect of Kuria or Simbiti language. And in Swahili and English language, it will be letter M. This one, if we put it in the form of Latin alphabets. So, what is happening? Now, we are going to see section 4 here. Section 4. In this diagram in section 4, it is a diagram showing communication through the sign language of the human body, where both hands are stretched downwards and the palms of the hands are bent to the left side to form a sign that signifies the word meaning of return. Therefore, in preserving this body sign in a tool, the relevant sign was carved on stone fragments like you can see here. You can see here. Look how it looks. It is looking on the left side. Therefore, now if we want to put this symbol at section 4 in the Latin alphabet by taking the first letter of the relevant word, then this symbol will be letter R in the Bantu dialect of Kuria or Simbiti language, and in Swahili and English language also will be the same. Therefore, we are going to section 5. In the diagram in section 5, it is a diagram showing the communication through sign language of the human body, where two palms are parallel with one palm open facing up and another it is facing up with fingers folded downward to form a word sign, which means learn or train. Therefore, in preserving this body sign in a tool, the relevant sign was carved on stone fragments like this. You can see it here. This in body sign language, but here in carved sign. You can see it here. Here is it. This is how it looks. And also on this other stone, it looks like this here. Here is it. Although here the shape is thick, is large, but this is how it looks when it is put, when it is carved on the stone fragment like this, so that to preserve it for long preservation and easy way of facilitating this kind of communication. Now, if you want to put this symbol, if you want to put this symbol in the Latin alphabet, we will take the letter of the word, then the mark will be letter E in the Kuria or Stimbiti dialect, and in Swahili it will be letter J or letter F, and where in English it will be letter L or letter T. That is if we want to put this symbol in the Latin alphabet. In today's topic, which has discussed a total of 5 sections related to the development of black communication in the African continent, then we will end with this 5th section until we continue with the remaining 32 sections in our future topics. Also, we would like to invite all of those who would like to learn about the interpretation of these ancient symbols of the origin of the black people of the African continent. Welcome you back for our next episode. Thank you so much. Submitted by Reverend Professor Stephen of O.Ketaro. Contact is +255 787 000 596. Our email is stephenketaro@gmail.com. stephenketaro@gmail.com.